In EuroGoals this week, Ronaldinho turns on the new camp and a victory for Real that keeps Luxemburgo in a job. In Portugal, Porto failed to inspire. Sporting Lisbon celebrate a draw and Nuno Gomes nets his 9th of the season. In Holland, AZ notch up number 32 in terms of goals this season. One's enough for PSV again, and Blind's troubles escalate in Amsterdam. In France, Lyon remain 9 points clear. PSG slip to defeat and Saint-Etienne climb up to 3rd. And finally, in Germany, Bayern come from behind to stay top. Bremen continue to bang in the goals. Another 4 today, and Hamburg defeats Schalke.
Well, leadership of La Liga has changed hands so many times this year, it's difficult to keep track. Getafe, Celta Vigo, Real Madrid, and now Osasuna, who beat Athletic Bilbao by 3-2 last week. Double match day in terms of league action last week around Europe. Well, that was Raul Garcia making it 1-1. Savo Milosevic here, putting Osasuna back in the lead. The 32-year-old ex-Villa and Parma man getting his 2nd goal of the season. Back came Bilbao, 2-2, 81 minutes gone. They're having an awful time of it, the Basques. Dano Betia and Clavero couldn't clear it. But a 4th straight defeat for Bilbao was cemented 2 minutes into stoppage time at the end. Hopeful ball forward. And Valdo with the effort. Initially, it broke 3 to Weber. And that was 3-2. They'll be heading to Pamplona for more than just the ball run if Osasuna can keep this up. A thriller. Finished 3-2, and Osasuna go top. Well, Raul's Real thought they'd found the formula, but a run of 6 straight wins was ended by the controversial defeat at home to Valencia the previous weekend, and then Deportivo piled more misery. 35 minutes gone, and De Guzman able to thread his effort through. Plenty to think about Florentino Perez and Emilio Butragueño. Certainly after the 2nd goal went in from the head of Juanma. Ball came from Pedro Muniz, ex-Real player, one of many down the years they've discarded. 6 minutes from the end, another Juanma header, his 3rd in 4 matches, and it was 3-0. A consolation was found from Raul, but far too little. Far too late, and Real shunted off the top after their 4th defeat of the season. Well, how Frank Rijkaard must be lapping it up. All the signs were this Liga season that the roles would be reversed in terms of the balance of power between Barca and Real. Not here though, although they did leave it late, Barca, against Malaga. Ronaldinho darting through, but he knows how to be a little bit naughty as well as be a little bit skillful. What about the penalty though? 2 minutes from the end, another goal. Touch of class here from Henrik Larsson. His 1st goal for Barca in La Liga for nearly a year after that awful injury. And Barca up to 5th with a midweek win. Great win for Sevilla at Valencia. Villarreal heap more misery on Betis. A late Riquelme penalty, bringing them the 3 points there.
So what was going to give here? Mallorca had the joint worst defence in the league, 17 goals conceded. Sevilla had the best defence, just 5. Neither of them scored that many. Average 17 in 18 games. Here it was all over the place. Good technique initially by Canute there, who thought he'd just done enough in sliding that on the outside of his right foot. Now Jordi really does wallop this against the post. Very unlucky indeed, but should have done better. Opening goal when it came was 2 minutes after that. Tooney would find Victor. A little touch from him. And his 1st goal of the campaign. There's a red card to come following that. Navarro kicking out at Salas. The referee was perfectly positioned to see it and sent him off. It was a second yellow card, not a straight red. And then the equalising goal came. Javi Navarro deflected it to Kepa, his 5th of the season. Levelled the scores just before half-time. Not much to shout about in the second half. A great technique again by Freddie Canute here, but again he really should have scored the goal. He didn't, and it ended 1-1. So Valencia's last 7 days sum up how the season has progressed, hitting the ultimate high that beating Real Madrid brings before an abrupt crash landing. But how about this for a contender for goal of the season? El Belda's goal after 13 minutes. Well, Santander just 5 places off the bottom, but they'd only conceded 6 goals this season. They were very tight defensively. Goals going forward, though, were pretty much at a premium, but we'll be seeing this a lot more times before the end of this season. They scored just 4 goals this campaign, which is the worst record in the league, but they managed to pick one up. 29 minutes, Felipe sent it through for Aganzo. Total disorganisation at the back for Valencia and pounced upon by Santander. Now from this corner, the header of Vicente deflected by Villa onto the post. That was the last of the decent chances in the game, and again a disappointing end here for Valencia. 1-1 the final score. Good week for Bianchi, back-to-back wins. Today came up against a coach he knew well. Both he and Pellegrini had coached in Argentina. Now if you looked or you didn't see it closely, that was a deflection. Looked great though first time. Zejinos it was. He claimed the goal. 16 minutes. Gonzalo kicks Torres. Referee saw it and sent him off. First of 2 red cards in this game. Well, Bianchi did build a great side and Boca around Juan Riquelme, who'd praised him as the best coach in the world before this game. The Appreciation Society very much in evidence. And there we are, equalising goal. Injury time, 4 minutes in. Diego Forlan, the man that spent the weekend fueling rumours that he's on his way to Arsenal in January. Final score, 1-1. Favourite as the next coach to be fired will be Jose Luis Mendilibar, currently in charge of bottom club Athletic Bilbao. Fernando Lamiquez had asked the crowd to turn up and cheer them to victory and out of the slump. Looked like he'd got his reward 24 minutes in. Gurpegi with the goal. Well, it started well enough, but it wouldn't end with smiles on the faces either, because it was, as it turns out, to be the last match in charge for Mendilibar. Thought he got a stay of execution, plenty of encouragement from the sidelines, but these type of errors that are coming up here are the reason why they're in the position that they are. Athbas through, followed in again, but La Cruz saved on his own line, and they breathed easy on the 46th minute. 12 minutes into the second period, Silvio would dance around Esposito and pass to Angel, who'd make it 1-1. The man who's taken over in charge here, Javier Clemente, took over Monday afternoon for another spell. He's played here, of course. He led them to Primera League title. He won a Copa del Rey double there as well, and he's back in charge. Well, so Deportivo kept their 14-year unbeaten run against Real in midweek alive. Today, Getafe, no time for basking in reflective glories. Schuster's team, though, although impressive, have lost form away recently with back-to-back defeats. Diego Tristan, remember him, back to something like some form. Key area of concern, though, was Luis Garcia. He'd made 2 horrific errors that led to 2 of Sociedad's goal, and he was not in particularly good form either. Now, what about that for a mistake? Molina with the big mistake, and that should have been an equalising goal. Guita is the man who can't believe he didn't score and level it. He didn't, and it ended 1-0. Headlines told the story on the eve of this match. Lux wins or he's out. They all queued up to give an opinion. Even Di Stefano was quoted. And to add a few other stories to a bit more spice to the occasion, Zidane's apparently suffering from some depression, but they answered critics with a wonderful move for the opening goal, which came here. Robinho on the half hour, giving them the lead. Well, the other big story doing the rounds was the fact that David Beckham, it was claimed by Marca, had actually faked an injury tonight, so it was revenge for Luxembourg for not picking him against Deportivo on Wednesday. On the field, well, 77 minutes, what a chance. Capi, Danny deflected it onto Edu. But it was to be one of those nights. Substitution would take off Diogo. Mejia coming on, the youngsters making a few waves in the course of this season. Watch his run late there into the penalty area. He's onside. Very first goal in Real Madrid colours. And for Real Madrid, a recovery from the miseries of the midweek. Final score, 2-0. Now, after resorting to a dive to get a breakthrough midweek, Barcelona's results supposedly tested here today. Risco, 19 minutes away from the season's clean sheet record at the start of play. He hadn't been beaten for 339 minutes. Casillas had the record. Wouldn't last that long, though. Mark van Bommel. Something he'd been testing in training. Said a few of them stay behind and worked on a few volleys and a few things for the weekend, and he came up with that one. This man's always got something ready to bring out every weekend. Ronaldinho, 36 minutes gone. Cruyff watching on, appreciative of the great Brazilian. And when he resorts to skill instead of trying to con referees, still one of the best, as he proves once again, right on the hour with his second goal of the game. Special night too for some old boys, Piqueristan and Jose Maria Becerra. Both played together at Sociedad before going to Barcelona as players, and now as sporting directors again at Sociedad and Barcelona. They were sat together in the stand. Only one of them, of course, was enjoying the fare on display. Carlos Puyol, what a fantastic goal there. Quarter of an hour before the end. Arango had been sent off in the 68th minute after a second yellow card for a foul on Iniesta. Henrik Larsson has been given until after the World Cup to decide whether he wants to play on for another season or retire. They'll be hoping he stays. It's his second goal in a matter of a few days. 5-0. And that was it. Night of celebration in the Nou Camp. Well, victory, albeit a late one. Vebo's 90th minute winner on Thursday against Bilbao took this meagre club from Pamplona clear at the top of the Spanish League for the very first time in their history. They've been there on goal difference once. Now, this was a moment of consternation. Remember that goal line technology that FIFA used in the World Under-17 Championships? Could have been used here. Kamini claims that he was not behind the line. Referee, after consultation, said he was. First goal. Wouldn't get any better either. Hideous mistake. Rebo, who'd crossed to Munoz, and Munoz would make it 2-0. Latina, another coach under big pressure. 1 point in 3 games, not good enough for a team looking to acquire European place. And next season, so the next 7 days could see another replacement of a coach in Spain. But for now, he's safe. Final score, Osasuna 2, Espanyol 0. Any other games we didn't see? 2 goals in 2 minutes. One for Sadiegui for Alaves, and equaliser Luis Garcia Espanyol, 1-1 there. And Zaragoza Santander, of course, 1-1. Milito's goal there too. Osasuna stay at the top of the table. Makes great reading, doesn't it? As we said, first time they've been clear in their history. Espanyol for them next week. Betis, Madrid, Deportivo, Getafe and Barca. Sociedad, top of the scoring charts is still Edu. Only just Ronaldinho right on his shoulder. Still to come after the break, all the goals, action and incident from Portugal. And there's a lot on offer as well, although not in Amsterdam, when we go and visit Holland.
The excellent start made by Nacional of Madeira shows no signs of abating. They became the second team to move on to 18 points, 2 behind leaders Braga, thanks to this win at Estrela Amadora. Amadora, the team from the Lisbon suburbs, lost their season's cup final at Benfica last week and were unable to respond here. Andre Pinto with the first goal for Nacional, his 5th of the season. Alexandre Goulart with the second, a quarter of an hour from the end. Wrapped things up really after the 1-2 with Patero. Defending wasn't too clever though, was it? Nacional claiming a 3rd away win from 5 this season. They're unbeaten on their travels. Amadora continue to struggle. Well, they remained unbeaten until going down 1-0 at Braga last Saturday. Boavista have been dreadfully inconsistent this season, rather like Sporting really, which is why this match was one of the most interesting of the weekend in Portugal. Boavista had the first chance, João Pinto crossing to Ferry for the club's top scorer. Well, it was denied by a very good save. Sporting came forward and took the lead in the 21st minute. What a solo goal this was from Nani. Interesting player, Nani. Just 18 years old from the Cape Verde Islands. Given his chance by the new coach Paulo Bento, and how he was taking it here. Pesero has left, and it's proved troublesome really for Sporting. They'd lost 3 of their previous 4 and not 1 in 3. But this was something of a return to form. Second goal went in just 3 minutes after the opener through Liedson, his 5th of the season. But right at the start of the second half, disaster. João Pinto just got a touch on it. Zé Manuel bent it in. Briefest of flicks from the veteran, and it spurred Boavista on. Zé Manuel wreaking havoc on the left again. His shot only parried, and in came Sousa for 2-2. And Sporting's poor away form continues. Just 4 points on their travels all season. Threw away a win here. Take nothing away though from the shot that came in, resulting in the parry by Ricardo, and Sporting had to settle for just a point. Benfica have dragged themselves round after their worst ever start to a Superliga season and haven't lost in 6 matches now. A 6th straight win was just beyond them though at Naval. This match would have been one they'd have fully expected to win when the fixtures came out, but the promoted team have adapted to life in the top flight, their first season in the top flight, admirably. Petit with the game's first opening, dragging the free kick wide. Porto, well, we'll see in a minute. Benfica here continue to go close. Nelson with the effort, just shaving the top of the crossbar there. And then 18 minutes from the end, Naval amazingly took the lead. Glauder on the right, and Bruno Fogazza would finish it off. Terrific season for Fogazza so far. His 6th goal in 8 matches. And in their short history, Naval were dreaming of a best ever win. 9 minutes from the end though, Benfica ground out an equaliser on a frankly awful pitch. Nuno Gomes would sweep home. What form he's in after that long barren spell. It's now 9 goals in just 8 games for the Superliga's top scorer. And at least they didn't lose here before the Champions League match with Villarreal in the week. At the lose, which if they win, could all but put their qualification to the second round. Well, An embarrassing defeat saved here by the veteran Nuno Gomez. Might have enjoyed a winner as well. Nuno Gomez sent in Mantorras, but he was just off target, and it finished here 1 goal apiece. To Porto then, they were second at the start of play, and much as it hurts to see Benfica in the role of defending champions this season, Adriance's side have other interests, namely getting another result against Inter in the Champions League this week. But coupled with their 2-0 win over the same opposition at the Dragao 2 weeks ago, could turn their European hopes around. Jorginho and Hugo Almeida fashion the game's first chance inside 2 minutes. Goalkeeper Moreto equal to it. Didn't get across to that. Quaresma on 9 minutes, almost scoring with a free kick. Well, Setúbal took time to get into this. Pretty much their only opening in the entire 90 minutes came from Adalto's free kick, which was claimed by Vitor Bahia. That was about as good as it got for the visitors. They came here for a point, and they would get a point as well, despite incessant Porto attacking after the break. Ivanildo and Jorginho, nice interplay. Jorginho's shot saved again by Moreto. Hugo Almeida wanted it squared. Look at the space he was in. Disappointing draw this. 0-0. Porto had to settle for. Elsewhere, Penafiel at last won their first game of the season. Excellent away win for Passos Ferreira at Guimarães. Well, Braga remain on top, even with a game in hand, which they'll play against Belenenses later this week. Well, Penafiel's win, not enough to lift them off the very foot of the Superliga. Guimarães in trouble down there as well. Well, Juve were looking for a record-equaling 10th straight win in Serie A, but it all went wrong at Milan. Juve were awful. Goals from Seedorf, Kaká and Pirlo beating the old lady. It doesn't knock them off the top, though, although the gap is down to just 2 points. And Fiorentina, who beat Cagliari, are up to third. While at the bottom, it still looks very grim for Lecce, Cagliari and Treviso. Plenty more still to come in EuroGoals. After the break, we go to Holland. Best action from France coming up too. Bordeaux going strong. Saint-Etienne win 2. We go to Germany as well.
Same old song and dance played out in the arena. The amazing thing, 47,500 people turned out to see it. Blind is in trouble. There's no doubt that failure to make the Champions League this season will hasten his departure. They really did struggle all night here, and you can hear in the background the whistles building. Once again, they failed as well to finish 90 minutes without injuries. All 3 substitutes were used during the course of this game, which meant, again, a shuffling around of the pack. Johnny Heitinga over there on the right. Nigel de Jong on the back post, sliding in, missed the connection. Herbie Emanuelson pressing forward. Stephen Pienaar set it up. And Nordin Bukhari with the shot, saved by Waterman. And that is how it finished. Not pleasant times. That last run of 3 straight defeats for RKC seems a long time ago. They followed up on last week's impressive victory over final with another victory in this match here. Van Widmer, yellow card. And from the penalty spot, up stepped Ricky Hugendorf. 7th goal of the season for him. Well, they had that run of 5 straight victories at the start of the season. Looks as if they could be to embark on another one of those runs here now. They were literally ripping through this opposition, and it was a real surprise at the other end when an equaliser went in. familiar face there behind the white shirts, that of Pierre Van Hooijdonk, only his second goal of the campaign, but matters back to normality in the second half. Zuvelum to Martens, his cross will be met by Mullet. Not a lot he could do about it either. Not a defender in sight. They did press forward though, looking for an equalising goal. They weren't going to get one because 5 minutes from time, all that pressing forward had left the inevitable gaps at the back. And were lucky not to get one or two sent off there. Was scored by Van der Haar, eventually. And then another piece of horrific defending. Martens with the interception. And he would make it 4-1. And that is how it finished. Well, they may not have shown the best of form of late, but Willem II rarely profit from these encounters either. 9 minutes in. Castellan setting it up. And Feyenoord on their way. 27 goals scored in the last 10 meetings between these two, although Feyenoord did actually lose here last season. They weren't going to lose here today. Castellan is having a great game here, once again bursting back into the type of form that he's shown a bit infrequently over the recent weeks. Patrick Power on the score sheet too. Kite with the quick free kick. His third goal of the season, Power. Injury time at the end of the game. There was a goal to celebrate for Willem II. Reuser to Dennison. Feyenoord all asleep at the back looking for a free kick, which they weren't going to get. 3-1 the final score. Den Haag's cause beginning to look a bit desperate. One off the bottom looking to avoid a third straight defeat. Not the team you want to meet. AZ just can't stop scoring. 16 minutes in, Sek Dewey with the first goal. As for AZ, since that 3-0 loss to PSV, they've fully recovered, no signs of relapse. 5 against Willem II last week, and this would turn out to be another comfortable day here today. Arveladze was looking for another goal today. That partnership he's got with Kenneth Perez now just short, one short of 20 goals. Arveladze the key though. That's his 11th of the season. Well, it's not normally an easy place to come to, The Hague, to actually get a result, but all too many teams are coming here and just walking all over them. The Graaf shot there, Timmer with the save, and AZ with another victory that keeps them right up at the top of the table. Well, October was a good month for SC20, 7 points on the last 9. It hoisted them out of the bottom 3. PSV, once again, though, they look rather peerless. Kone with that shot, 63 minutes gone. They were making really hard work of this game. They're winning games without playing particularly well, scoring very few goals. This guy, well, we said a number of times, a player to watch. Affalay with the free kick and then the goal. They get the job done somehow. Incidentally, they've drawn FC20 in the quarterfinals of the Cup. That to be played December 20th and 21st. One chance before the end of the match came to Afonso, very nearly scored as well. In the end, the joy, it all belonged to Affalay. He provided the winning goal, which keeps PSV at the top of the table. There we are, Vitesse the other side on the up. Another great performance from them. Dumont, 2 goals from Hersi, 2 from Amoa. Gave them a 5-1 victory over Heracles. Top of the table though, PSV 1 point in it from AZ and Feyenoord, sticking in there with RKC in 4th. Bit of a gap down there to 5th, and Ajax 10 points off the top. RBC, well, it's looking pretty miserable for them as well, isn't it? But Willem II still need to do some work, as do ADO. No doubt what the story of the weekend was in the Premier League. It was Manchester United's 4-goal beating they took at Middlesbrough. 2 goals from Mendieta, Hasselbank and Yakubu penalty. Ronaldo got one back on 90 minutes. Chelsea made light work of Blackburn Rovers. Liverpool got it together against West Ham. And Tottenham were unlucky against Arsenal. Coming up then after the break, we'll see if anybody's managed to peg back Lyon. And there's some goals and a lot of excitement in Germany.
Worrying times for Carlo Molinari. We're not yet a third of the way through the season, but already his club Metz need nothing short of a miracle comeback to save them from the drop. Just 4 draws, 4 points from a possible 36 points, 12 matches ahead of the trip to Rennes, where the worrying statistics really for Joel Muller. Van Bay stopped Fry, but there was no stopping Rennes on 18 minutes. The Swiss striker Fry was the provider for John Utaka. And the Nigerian, the former Lens striker, scoring his first for 13 matches. Well, the writing really is on the wall, and you have to admire the gallows humour, really, of the Metz supporters. 11 minutes after the break. Well, Metz fell another goal behind. This time it was Fry. We've seen precious little of this type of clinical finishing from the player who scored so many goals last season and was so consistent. That was just his third. He's emerged as a possible target for Borussia Dortmund after Jan Koller announced he wants to leave the German club. Gregory Promont was sent off 17 minutes from the end. And that was Metz down to 10 men. It was a foul on Utaka. Metz did put one back in injury time through the Cameroon striker Obey Toum. Amazingly, it was their first goal since Sebastien Renoir found the net against Marseille on the 24th of September. 5 and a bit games and 528 minutes previously. No light at the end of the tunnel for Metz. Another defeat, 7 in a row. The dramatic injury crisis at Monaco saw 2 20-year-old graduates from the academy, Olivier Vigneault and Nicolas Maurice Bellet, take the field against Ajaccio. Schilacci, Gigliotti, Evra, Cubillier, Roma, Adebayo and Capo all out for one reason or another. The 38th minute didn't seem to matter. Ernesto Chevanton, taking the pass from Maurice Bellet to score his second of the season. Not been a bad start for Monaco's new coach, the Italian Francesco Guidalin. What is worrying is that his strikers, if not being outscored, or at least being equalled by the defenders. That was Gal Givet, 20 minutes from the end, getting his second of the season. The same tally as Chevanton. Ajaccio rarely threatened. When they did, Varmus, the reserve goalkeeper, was equal to it, keeping out Rocky's free kick. And Monaco wrapped up the points with a third goal, 14 minutes from the end. Lobbed over by Placil. He was a substitute who had just come on for Chevanton and scored his first goal since January. And Monaco had a 3-0 victory. They're up to 7th. Ajaccio's good early season form rapidly turning to a distant memory. For Marseille, the glory days of the early 90s, pre-bribery scandal that is, will forever serve as the benchmark of what can be achieved at France's biggest stadium in front of France's most passionate supporters. Let's face it, at potentially France's biggest club. The inconsistency and underachievement that are dogging yet another season prove once more the plain fact that as a team these days, Marseille are ordinary at best. Christian Jimenez had 2 early opportunities that were not taken. Although, didn't seem to matter really after 29 minutes when they did take the lead for sure. Ribéry and Lamouchi, and then Koke finish it off clinically. So much promise, but he rarely delivers, the 22-year-old Spaniard. Representative of his team as a whole, really. His first goal for 6 months. Didn't look too happy there, Jean Fernandez. He certainly wasn't here, as Mousilou came close to an equaliser. That was in the 50th minute. Within seconds, they were getting an equaliser. Mousilou holding it up, playing in Milenko Asimovic. Look at the defending. And that was 1-1. Well, Man United go to the Stade de France to face Lille in the Champions League this week. For Marseille, another what might have been afternoon. Well, a glance across at another former great, Saint-Etienne, would uncover another big club making rather better progress in terms of potential turning into reality. They weathered an early storm from winless Strasbourg at the Menot here. Jeannot saving from Salim Adash. And Eli Boat would have to rejig things when his lead striker Frédéric Piquillon went off injured with a muscle strain after half an hour. And on came 20-year-old Batafimbi Gomes to play up alongside Sebastian Mazur. Gomes was involved, supplying Fainduno, whose effort was just tipped round by Kassar. No scoring here until the 72nd minute, when Mazur played in Gomes. 6 goals on loan at Troyes to help them get promoted last year. Also goals the year before that in Saint-Etienne's promotion season back to Ligue 1. But this was his first ever goal in the top flight. Strasbourg would slip to victory again. Pagis missing a late chance. They still haven't won. Bordeaux are probably still drawing too many matches, but the real difference, the team steered by the Brazilian Ricardo, to those of his predecessors, is that they're actually winning most of the others. Here against Troyes was a case in point after back-to-back 1-1s with Sochaux and Toulouse. Jean-Claude Darcheville set them up for a better outcome with the opening goal on 7 minutes. Well, Bordeaux have only lost once this season under the former PSG and Brazil defender Ricardo. They would seal a win here 10 minutes after the break. Darcheville taking the free kick and scoring it. Still needs to up his overall tally. They were happy enough with him here. Bordeaux still going so strongly. Real contenders for a Champions League place this season. Fascinating match this between two sides, Auxerre and PSG, who feel they ought to be a bit tighter to Lyon at the top, and who are looking for a result here to serve as a springboard to enable them to do it. Laurent Fournier and Jacques Santini, newcomers to two of the biggest jobs in French football. Best chance of the first half came right at the end of it. Benjani and Peggy Loyindula working the 1-2 for Auxerre. Benjani not far away with the effort. Well, players, staff, everyone at the Abbé Deschamps have had to get used, really, to doing everything under the watchful eye of retired Mr. Auxerre, Guy Roux. You wonder what he was making of this current season's progress. Couldn't really complain in the 53rd minute, even though Auxerre had to rely on an own goal to break the deadlock. Edouard Cissé, the unlucky PSG player. Lachouère playing in the free kick, and the Parisians didn't deal with it. The visitors conceded another as well 4 minutes before the end as Auxerre wrapped up the 3 points. Akale for Pieroni. He scored in the League Cup win at Lens this week. Got another one here. Big games for both these sides next weekend. PSG welcome Monaco to the Parc des Princes. Auxerre go to Saint-Etienne. Excellent win for Auxerre here, 2-0. Well, discussion was the order of the day in Lyon as Raymond Domenech, the national team coach, arrived at the Stade Gerland to soften up the president, Jean-Michel Aulas, and coach Gérard Houllier. A week before, he wants their players to join up with the French squad. Houllier, after seeing Coupé save from Sochaux's Zaïri in the very first minute, said he would only release the 9 wanted 3 days before the Martinique playing crowd benefit match with Costa Rica. Well, Viltor denied by Richet. And again here, plenty of activity in the opening 12 minutes. It was a rather lopsided match. They weren't particularly happy with their first half performances. Abidal and Boudaren enjoying a little tete-a-tete there. 9 minutes after the break came the only goal of the match. Abidal down the left, and what a tidy little flick that was from Malouda. He's one of the ones wanted by Dominic. Formidable really, this from Lyon. 13 matches, 10 wins this season. An ideal preparation for the Champions League trip to Olympiacos, which could see them qualify. Elsewhere, Lyon's run of 7 straight draws came to an end when they beat Toulouse. Nantes won 1-0 against Le Mans. Goalless between Nancy and Nice. Lyon on cruise control there. 9 points, a frankly alarming gap at this stage of the season. At the bottom, Metz and Strasbourg still haven't won. Strasbourg, amazingly, have played 3 times in the UEFA Cup and won all 3.
Well, after a 6-3 and a 4-1 losses, the last team Cologne wanted to meet was Bayern Munich. Another 50,000 plus crowds. Sort of after 28 minutes, though, it was to be the beginnings of a day of celebration. Ballack didn't get caught by the referee with that for the elbow and a kick and onto Lucas Podolski. Maybe they'll renew their acquaintance of the international weekend coming up. Now, opening goal came from Schertz, 2 minutes short of the half hour. 2 set plays, 2 lousy pieces of marking, and 2 goals gave Bayern a victory. Lucio with his 2nd of the season. Big controversy though. Was he onside or was he off? He was on. 74 minutes, another set play, another goal conceded. Ballack, who some say shouldn't have been on the field, who got the goal. Wait till you see the reaction of the coach. And guess what type of reception his team got 5 minutes after. Well, the Royal Blues from Schalke came into the game against Hamburg unbeaten, but would end it with a first taste of defeat. Van der Vaart, top scorer, though, wasn't on the field. Troszczewski was preferred. 2 goals against 6 that Van der Vaart had scored this season. 20 minutes gone, the only goal of the game would be scored by Madavikia. 3rd of the campaign for him. Well, they'd end it with 10 men. Paulsen went after 60 minutes. That's how it ended. Bremen, the league's top scorers, took a day off last week with a 0-0 draw in Hanover. Back home, though, and another rout looked possible, but they'd have to come, though, from behind, something they're not used to doing. Amanatidis, with his 2nd goal of the season, joint top scorer with 2 goals as well. Shows you what sort of problems that Frankfurt have got. Well, they got 6 in their last home game, and they were on their way. Just on the half hour, Frings from Borowski's header, from Borowski's cross rather, and it was 1-1. Into the second half, Borowski involved again. This time he's on the end of it. 3rd goal of the campaign for him. Miroslav Klose banged in a hat-trick last time he was at home. Did he use his hand here to control the ball? The away team thought they did. The referee wasn't in a position to make a decision. The cameras were there, and it definitely came off his hand. And on 90 minutes, Borowski from 25 metres out. Bit of a soft concession that by the keeper. 4 goals to 1, damage done. 31 goals now, the total in 11 games, all very impressive indeed. Good match in Stuttgart. Lubiola, Kaka and Gomez, 3 goals there. Wasn't enough though. Marcelino got an equalising goal there. Rafael and Caro with the other 2 goals. Massive crowds in Germany this weekend. 82,000 watched Borussia Dortmund. 4 over 40,000 and 2 over 50,000. It's the place to watch. Bayern Munich still out there in the top. Nuremberg down at the bottom. Is still all very tight. It's a really interesting league. Plenty of goals and excitement as well. time then to play and win in the competition that runs every week on EuroGoals. You can text or you can go on the internet and do it. Last week's winner, well, no surprise really, was it? Was scored by Gomez, having an absolutely magnificent season so far. Cracked in his 9th goal this week. Has refound his form, and here it comes in 3D, and this is what Amadora saw on the way. Goalkeeper's view as that flashed across the area. All that shows is plenty of indecision from the keeper, doesn't it? 4 angles of the goal to see this coming in from in total. Absolutely magnificent cross, though, in the first instance. Nelson just bided his time. First time ball from Nelson. Few players as good as Nuno Gomez in that position, in the air, in Europe. He had his time, of course, remember, in Serie A. Didn't work for him there, but he's sure if he continues to produce as he's doing this season, then he's going to get another attempt. Well, there's got to be only one goal, isn't there? But we'll have a look at the others all the same. Dani in the match, Mallorca against Vigo. There you go. Don't know about goal of the week. Next goal is going to be goal of the season. We're going to linger a bit on Dani's moment of glory. It was nice, but it wasn't as good as what's coming. Patrick Kluivert involved in the build-up here, and then just sit back and pay some respect to that man, Albelda. But the only thing they had to smile about Valencia is the end of a good week, but not the end of a good day for them. Unfortunately, held on the day by Santander. But it was just superb, wasn't it? Give you a look at Martin van Bommel, because any other day this perhaps would have won it. Little mazy dinking run from Ronaldinho. Thought about a dive, decided better of it, gave it to Van Bommel. He struggled to fit in the opening months of his time after the move from PSV Eindhoven. But he's there now. This is how you vote. Eurosport.com/GameZone or text GOAL to 83050 with your choice of Albelda. Be interesting to see if anybody voted for anything else. And that's it for EuroGoals for today. We'll leave you with a selection of the moments of the week, including Puyol's fantastic headed goal. That's it, though, from us here. From me, Tim Cable, and from Andy Bonfish. Until next week, bye-bye.